All right, perfect. It's recording. So we're gonna make an anime tier list. A few disclaimers beforehand. I've watched probably half as much anime as the person I'm doing with, and I watch anime in dub, and he watches it in sub. So our opinions are gonna differ a lot, but we're gonna try to sort out these isekai animes. Okay,
Dub is
so
trash.
yeah, dub is convenient. All right, the first thing we're gonna talk about is Shield Hero. Now, actually, this is the first isekai I've seen. I For me, it's an S tier. I thought it was like it
Sheesh.
brought me into the genre. I like loved it. I thought the character was, which is kind of like typical now, like how he's hated and like super, uh, like treated super bad at the beginning, which was like super unique at the time when Shield Hero did it. I feel like, but now like everyone does that.
I mean, it's a take. I mean, personally, I would put it in A tier, but it is definitely up there in the top.
Okay, I'm gonna put it at the top of A for now. Then there might be other stuff that I'm like, okay, if we start to find stuff in A tier that I'm like, okay, was obviously better, I'll move it up. But I guess for now we'll leave it at the top of A tier.
A
I
good
think,
standard.
yeah, I think it's like literally its only downfall was that like it starts to turn into a harem at the end. You're like, no,
Oh yeah.
another harem,
Oh yeah.
because this whole party is just girls.
Another harem.
Yeah, but I thought they did a super good job of making him super likable and making the world like stepping in his shoes where you're like, wow, screw this world. And kind of like giving you the same mentality he has throughout the whole show. So if the main character's good, I'm almost always like, oh, this anime is amazing, because like that's what I mostly base how much I like anime on, how good the main character is. And I think he's one of the best. So I would put it at S, but we'll leave it at A for now and see if we move it up later.
All right. All right.
Cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. This one is like some people wouldn't even consider it an isekai just because it isn't going to a different world necessarily. It's just future in the world that already
Honestly,
existed.
it's a hot take. Yeah, it being an isekai or not, it's questionable. But I agree. I would have to say it's different enough where the whole world has completely changed
Yeah, like
and they're just thrown
none of the
into it.
same rules
So
apply. So I do think it's
yeah.
completely a different world. So I would put it there. Now, I liked it. I thought it was like mad entertaining, but I wouldn't
Hmm.
like I don't like think about it after I ended the episode. Like while I was watching it, I was captivated, but I'm not like afterward like, "Oh man."
I can tell you right now, I don't remember any of the characters' names. Can't remember
Yeah.
like anyone's. I know like I've watched it, but man, it's some of the characters are forgettable. But I mean,
The whole show is
like
forgettable,
mad
honestly.
and yeah, yeah, true, mad entertaining, but not super memorable.
Yeah, I would agree there. So it's gotta be like B or C. Uh, I think it's fair to put in B because I watched the whole thing and didn't like stop watching it. And some of
Oh
these I
yeah,
definitely wanted to stop watching. So I
oh
would put it
yeah,
in B for now because of how mad entertaining it was. But
yeah. If I liked it overall, I would put it in B.
yeah,
C
but
is for
definitely not
something
memorable.
I didn't like.
It's
All right,
like
all right.
the typical characters that like every character has their line and they just repeat it over and over again throughout the whole show, kind of like Black Clover.
Yeah.
So it's solid anime though, entertaining.
All right. Well. What's the? Let me ask you first, real quick, before you move on. What is the main character's name?
Suki?
No, I don't know.
I think his name is
I
Suki.
cannot. I can't even remember. Now I have to. I'll have to check. But just
Yeah,
I
that's
just
fair
wanted
too.
to see how if you were like me and how memorable it really was.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy too because like I watched it like a few months ago. I didn't even watch it that long ago.
uh huh.
And I watched this, years ago, and it now for me like it's so good. Like I remember
Yeah.
everything.
Now Fumi Iwatani. Yeah,
Raptalia, yeah, I remember all of them. So,
that's true. Okay, it's his name is Senku.
oh, that's
Senku.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Senku.
yeah, yeah.
Senku the scientist. That's right.
I remember now, but
Okay.
yeah,
The
it's
next
rough.
one, you're gonna take the lead here. I haven't seen this one.
Okay, this is a sentence of bookworm. pretty good world building. I would say it has one of the strongest world building. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Why is it in
Go on, keep
trash?
going. I'm gonna, as you talk,
Okay,
I'll
okay.
slowly rate
You're
it,
you're the
depending
judge.
on how much
It
you.
has one of the best world building in all of Isekai. That's definitely a bonus. Um, the characters are pretty likable. Like all the characters feel very
What's the main
fleshed
character's
out.
name?
uh, I can't remember. She's a librarian girl. That's
Okay.
that's pretty much all I can remember. But it is kind of gets kind of boring because it's about her kind of like being transported and reincarnated. Kind of, she's transported into the body of a young girl and just almost like takes over this girl's body. Kind of crazy, but um, it's like set in a fantasy world, and she basically it's kind of like slime reincarnated as the slime because she's like building up this from like nothing where he builds a civilization, she builds up a business instead. Um, so she's like like it's like an entrepreneur's like dream anime,
Ah, now for me, the
but
same
I would
thing.
probably say it kind of fits in C tier. Where it falls flat, it's just boring as heck, man. It sometimes it's just I'm not that interested in what's going on. She makes books. She's it takes her probably 10 episodes to make a book, and she's obsessed with books throughout the entire show because she like is just in love with books, was a librarian, and died because books fell on her. So I mean
I mean,
honestly, yeah.
yeah, I can see. I'd probably like this anime. What you're talking about, you kind of sold me on it, so I'll have to give it a watch. But I'll leave it in C tier for now, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, takes 10 episodes to make a book, so
Yeah. I see how that could be pretty boring. Okay. Now I lied about this one. This is actually not the first one I watched. This one is the first one I watched when I like probably 10 years ago, and I watched it all in one sitting. And I think it was my first time watching a full anime. No, it definitely was. It is only 13 episodes, but it was it is really good.
I would have to agree. It is one of the best shows I've still seen ever, and it's been like probably 10, 11 years.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
I couldn't name anything. I just remember the whole plot and like what happens. I couldn't name the characters actually because I've watched it in 10 years.
I feel like this is going to be a common theme, not being able to remember characters' names.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Actually, I can't remember anyone's name now I think about it. Only
Like,
like
only if it's like one of my favorite shows, I really actually can remember characters' names.
this is one
But
of my favorite
yeah.
shows, but I mean, I haven't seen it in 10 years, so there is some nostalgia probably blinding my memory of this show.
Yeah, in my head it was perfect in every way, but
Hmm.
in reality it's probably not. So it's probably not like an S tier type show.
Yeah, it still has like one of my favorite memories of like watching anime is when he gets launched into the ceiling. like like use a distraction in class and then his chair launches to the ceiling and it like replays it 3 times and like in slow-mo.
Uh huh.
Do you remember that part? That was like
I know
literally the
exactly who you're
highlight.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah, he
Or
was the muscular guy.
yeah, the guy's like magically muscular. Yeah. So definitely nostalgic, but I gotta put in A even if it is a lot of nostalgia. It's like super
Probably
solid.
one of the funniest ones that's going to be on this list too.
Yeah,
It
it's
earns points for
hilarious.
being
And
hilarious.
also the whole message was so wholesome. That's like
Oh
basically they
yeah.
go to the world so that they could be happy, and like
No,
live in
I
the
remember
world. It's
we
like
we all
so
cried
wholesome. Yeah,
watching it.
I cried
It
definitely.
was terrible like for my emotions, but
Yeah.
probably scarred my mental state, but you know,
Okay.
it's
Now,
worth it.
this one I don't like. Like I thought it was pretty trash. It's super overhyped. I thought the world was pretty like basic. It was just like, oh, you're in a world of board games. Like it kind of goes in more depth, but it doesn't do anything for the story, the extra depth. I thought it was pretty trash.
All right, I only have 3 words for this show. Too much incest.
Yeah, that's true.
Just
They are they
it's
are
just
siblings and they're like
so
super
rough.
physical with each
I
other.
mean, he's not like I mean, he's really close to his sister, but he's not like in like madly in love with her. I mean, but she is. So she you could tell she is just in love with her brother, and that's rough. But yeah, it was entertaining, but I wouldn't put it in trash though. Some other I would put it probably lower on the C. Like some other shows might be C, but they're probably gonna be
It's like
higher.
so high rated that I kept watching, but I didn't want to keep watching. It didn't captivate me enough to like keep wanting to click on the episodes, so I
Yeah,
watched
it
it
might be a
just because of the
bottom.
rating. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I would say it's overrated as well. Everyone wants a season two, and I don't care. If it doesn't get a season two, I will be fine with that.
Yeah,
Hot take.
I agree. 100%. I could forget about the show and not care. All right. This show, World, was sick. It's almost exactly like Dr. Stone, actually, except for people were put underground and frozen for 200 years in groups of seven. So the seven people, they know each other, but they don't know anyone else. And the idea of the show is amazing. Like I feel like it could have been like One Piece long because of how much they built up the world and how much was going on in the world. It was super duper entertaining. And the biggest part that I think was better than Dr. Stone was each group of seven was so unique and had their own ideas on how they wanted to recreate the world. With Dr. Stone, there's just kind of two people, right? There's the scientist and then the barbarians, and it's kind of like plain in that sense. There's just two groups of people. But this one, every group of seven, because it goes through the lives of like a ton of the groups of seven, super entertaining. I liked it more than Dr. Stone, but
Mm,
the animation was really bad. The voice acting was pretty bad. Uh, you could tell it was lower budget. Essentially, that's what kind of
mm.
killed it, and it was way too short. If it was super long, I'd watch the whole thing though. It was I was so captivated watching it.
Sounds like the story really carried it.
Yeah, the story was so good. Which I mean,
Yeah, I haven't seen this one, but from what you've talked about it, it's like on my list to watch. I need to watch it. In my own opinion on this, because I mean, it sounds really interesting.
yeah, I think the big thing is like it's it's hard to have somebody you don't like because it gives you a bunch of teams and you can root for one of them, right? Because they're all in groups of seven. There's
Mm.
like this the main team it follows is seven losers that they just buried, people that are like freaking that were like outcasts,
Oh yes.
and they wanted to see how they would do in survival just in case, um because the problem with the military, because they did seven military, seven geniuses, like eight groups of seven,
Hmm.
the military had way too much pride, and so they all wanted to take lead, and so they were all killing each other. So actually, the losers were like doing way better than the professionals, basically, because they just
Wow.
got along way better. But
Okay.
super cool.
I
I'd put it above Doctor Stone just because the same story, but just told way better.
perfect. All right. Ooh, yeah. Yes. This is such an S tier show. Oh my
Oh, it's
gosh.
so good.
It is so good. The world building is perfect.
Perfect.
The characters are so likable.
Oh yes.
I mean, at first, man, I thought the main character was just trash, man. He's like such a scumbag, but man, you learn to love him. He is just such good character growth in this
Yeah,
show.
there is a lot of fan service, but I think the fan service almost like it it's the only fan service that like makes a show. It's not random at all. Like they want
Yeah,
you to
it is literally
realize,
enhances
yeah,
the
they want you to
story and the
realize that
character itself.
like who he was to who he's becoming. And like without like the fan service, you wouldn't get like, oh, he's this perverted loser, like
Yeah,
it's
and it also shows that he's not perfect either.
yeah,
Because there's a
exactly.
lot of shows where they are a perfect person, and
Oh,
it just
like the
ruins the
slime.
story.
Yeah, that's freaking hate. Oh, I'll go to that one later, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, this was an S tier show for sure. I say Shield Hero is right up there with it. I probably enjoyed these two, like just equally.
Hmm.
Super
Hmm.
good.
Yeah, I would definitely pit Mushoku Tensei above Shield Hero though. It's just way captivating. Like Shield Hero has just as strong as a start, but it kind of falls off later at the end. Later in the show and in between major events, but Mushoku Tensei was always captivating every single episode, and there isn't a single episode I can think of that is just not good.
I I'm gonna say
Some episodes
I
are
like the
great.
I like the uh world for Shield Hero better actually, but I do like the pacing of this one. It has like perfect pacing, which obviously
Yes.
is like keeps you watching the whole time.
Awesome.
It's a page turner of a show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I'm just so glad that you put it in S tier because I had no idea how you felt about this show.
Oh no, yeah. I think just because it has perfect pacing, it's got to go in the S tier.
Yeah, and plus we were robbed, man, at the animation awards or anime awards. It
Yeah,
was
it's so
not didn't win
deserved.
anything. So sad.
So deserving, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe it.
But
Okay,
how it goes.
yeah, I'm gonna put this one at the bottom of B in my opinion. The first episode was like S plus. It was like
So
so
good.
amazing, and then it just went downhill from that. So
And my
just
problem with
go on.
Sword Art Online is it cannot retain like a good story, and it a lot of seasons start off strong, but this show always falls off at the end of the season or in the middle. It falls off at some point. So no matter
Ter-
what season of Sword Art Online it is, it's so
Terrible
rough.
pacing. Like general episodes
Yes,
feel like fillers. Like it is just ugh.
it turns into a dumpster fire every time.
But I you got to respect it though because of the world they built in the first episode.
Yeah.
It belongs like not at the bottom because it wasn't trashed through and through. It started so high and it did like stay high for a little bit, but like the whole time it was going downhill.
I think without Sword Art Online, the media for Isekai would be completely different. Completely
That's true.
different.
It was like revolutionary in anime. Put some respect on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Bottom B tier. Looks about right.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, let me see if this is recording still. Yep, we're good. Okay. All right. What is this? Oh,
This is Devil is a
yeah.
part timer. The Devil is a part timer.
Okay, I
Okay.
really like this
Nice.
one. I thought
Yes,
it
I
was
have to agree.
so funny. Like, oh, one of the
Very
funniest, like
funny.
probably like top five funniest animes I've ever seen. I will say the first six episodes are way better than the last six,
Uh huh.
but
Yes.
still, like, it was really funny.
Yes. It kind of dipped on parts where they really tried to tell a story. I don't care about the story. I
Yeah.
just want to see the craziness that happens with the characters, like their day-to-day lives, way more entertaining than any kind of plot they can
Oh,
produce.
so
And
funny.
it's just great for that. Man, I do remember the main two characters though, at least.
Like this
It
is
was
oh, go on.
it's Mao, I think, and Emmy, something like that. Maybe not 100% positive on the
I
devil's
yeah,
name.
I thought his name was Satan.
Yeah, Satan. Yeah, Satan and Emmy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah. So
So yeah, I remember them. They were really funny, and I probably am gonna check out season 2 of the show.
it's coming out?
Yep.
Has it released or is it coming out?
No, it's been announced.
Oh snap! Is so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I
hype. It's
definitely
hype.
will. This is a must
Yeah,
start
yeah.
anime. If you can know the first episode if you want to keep watching or not. Like it's a must start though. You
Oh
have to
yeah,
watch the first episode.
yeah. You don't have to get that far into. No, it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah, I loved it. Okay,
Well deserved.
this one would be the top of B or the bottom of A for me. This is the
Mm.
spin-off of Sword Art Online. I thought it was super good.
Nope. This is the normal sort of online season 2. Gun Gale. There you go. Okay, I was about to say like, man, you're putting that way higher than I thought you would.
Absolute trash. Gun Gale Online was disgusting. Like It
Yeah.
started off bad, it ended bad, the story was bad, the main bad guy was bad. Oh, it was trash.
Yeah, it's just a mess all over the place. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, no hate, enjoy what you like,
I
but
hate you. I'm
I
kidding.
I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all.
Oh, it was
It was hard
horrible.
to get through.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I watched it week to week too, so that was pretty rough.
Yeah. Ugh. I tried to forget it. That's how bad it was.
I just kept hoping it was gonna get better. But yeah.
All right. Cool. I haven't seen this one, but it's pretty popular.
Okay, this is How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. Um, when it came out, it was a one of a kind show. Very unique premise, very thought out world and fleshed out characters. Um, Nowadays it is such a just a copy of everything else. I wouldn't say it's a copy, but it is just it's a lot like everything else isekai wise. Um, you know what? This might we might not actually have this on the list. We
Wait.
might want to cut out this whole part because now that I'm thinking about it, it is not isekai at all. It is only fantasy.
Oh, well, we can edit that part out.
Let me okay, put it at the beginning again. Put it at the beginning
At the
where it
beginning?
was. Yeah, over there. Okay, I'm gonna restart by saying this is um how to pick up girls on a dungeon. I don't know why it's in this list because it's just a fantasy anime. This isn't even an isekai. There's
Try.
no transported into another world. No, no, no. Just just take it off the list.
Okay, well, I can't remove
Unfortunately.
it, but I will just put it in trash because
All
it
right,
doesn't
yeah.
belong in this
It's a
entire list.
terrible isekai because it didn't do the genre right at all. There you
Okay,
go.
perfect. All
Nothing else
right,
on that.
Konosuba. Now, this is gonna be controversial. I'm gonna say it's an A tier. Everyone,
Ooh,
it's one of the, it's probably the most loved. It's probably most people's S and the best one out there. But I'd say these two have a better pacing. This one's funnier, so it doesn't have anything that's the best. So I'm gonna
ooh,
say
oof.
it's an
That
A.
you think Devil's a Part Time is funnier than Konosuba?
Yeah, I think
Oh man.
Konosuba, like the jokes, I just don't find sex jokes that funny, and that's the majority of the jokes, stealing panties or the girl wanting to be hurt. So I just don't. That's not my favorite type of joke, so it's just not making me
Oof.
laugh that much.
Personally, I would put it in S tier. I love Konosuba. Everything that's Konosuba is just the most entertaining and funny show. It's just so good. But I could see if your humor isn't the same, then it won't hit. Makes sense. But man, I love Konosuba. One of my favorite anime series ever.
Uh, for
Probably top 50 for me for sure.
for me, I
Maybe
feel
top
like
30.
this fan group is like in perfect alignment with the How I Met Your Mother fan group. People who love that show and say it's the best sitcom ever, like versus The Office or Community, is the same fan group loves this because How I Met Your Mother is just straight sex jokes, and some people say like that's the funniest one. This one is like pretty on par with that. So just both of them not my cup of tea.
I mean, what I loved about it is the characters, not only the characters themselves, but the actual cast and voice actors. They were so good at working together and with doing the jokes and performing. They bounce off of each other so perfectly. It's just an amazing performance by everyone like in
I
the
would give
show as
that.
well.
I would
And you can
say it's
see
the
that in the
highest
humor.
production even, like, because it had a movie, and like only like
Oh
top
yeah.
dollar animes have movies, you
Have you
know?
ever seen Megumi's explosion magic? It's insane.
Yeah, and the animating, like, so I think it was the most expensive isekai on the list.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Maybe. I mean, I can see Jobless
as
being more.
more expensive?
Yeah, the animation is consistently amazing every single episode.
I mean, I would say it's better, but I wouldn't say it was cost more, but maybe. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Sword Art Online might have cost a lot too. I'm not sure. Really, it
After
just
this, I'm gonna look it up.
the budgets. I
What
think this is the
Yeah, I'll
highest
let you
budget
know.
one.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, I think it's with the How I Met Your Mother fan group when it comes to sitcoms. Like some people say it's the best one out there, and they're like
Okay.
die hard, but
I mean, I mean, at least you put it in A tier.
yeah, it's like the production like is what I think is like super well put together, super
Uh huh.
great for memes. Honestly, it's like an S
Uh
tier when it
huh.
comes to like making memes about anime. So definitely deserves to be up there.
Cool.
Now I'll put an
All right.
A. You
Makes
wanna you
I'm
wanna
happy then.
place it in A?
Hmm.
For me, this gotta
I
go
would
up
put it.
so
All
far.
right. All right. All right. I would put it ahead of Devil as a part timer, just like this.
Like that? Okay,
Yeah.
that looks good to me.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right.
It definitely way higher production. This gives you like 6 episodes of extreme entertainment, but I
Uh
would
huh.
pick those 6 episodes versus this whole show, honestly, because I love those 6 episodes. But yeah, I can see how this would be higher.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So this one. Hold up. Before you get to it, this one is the one I thought this is on the list. Hmm. So I want to hear your explanation on why Erased is considered an isekai to you.
Okay. So essentially, what happens is he gets transported into a different uh dimension of time
Hmm.
and gets to create a whole new timeline. So that's why I
Oh,
put it in because he goes to a different world. Essentially, it's the same world he lived in, but it's in a different dimension, and he gets to rewrite time. Uh, kind of like Jobless in the way that he gets transferred into a child's body.
interesting.
Um, so I think it's a whole new world he's creating. So I'd put it as Sky.
Have you ever seen Steins Gate?
Yeah, I see Steins Gate. I thought about that one, but that one's way more like fantasy. I know they
More
create that.
sci-fi.
Yeah, they create tons of timelines, and it's just like
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't like travel to
I,
one
I
world and
I
then
see
travel
that.
back.
Okay, okay. Fair. So where would you place it?
Uh, as far as like, I'd put it at the back of A maybe.
Hmm.
I think it's like a super good introductory anime,
Uh-huh.
but like for hardcore anime fans, I don't think it like matches up with some of the other ones.
Oh yeah. I think that it's such a solid show, and the only thing that knocks it down is the ending.
Oh, how
A
predictable it is.
lot a lot of people weren't satisfied with how it turned out and
Yeah,
how predictable it was.
it's mad, like mad predictable. Like it's supposed to be a mystery, but it wasn't at all. That was kind of lame.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know. I think maybe it should be maybe the top of B tier if because I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. That ending really was a vibe kill.
yeah. Yeah, I think it fits there pretty well because it's really good, but it's not so insanely good that
You know,
it's
the
just
more you're talking about it, the
revolutionary.
more I just want to like keep lowering it, because I'm
Wow.
like
I
the
mean, it's a
re.
great show. I've introduced it to a lot of people and they liked it. Um, Everyone just consistently says it's just the end. So I mean, not I haven't seen Seven Seas, but that honestly does feel like a good spot. I would definitely put it higher than Sword Art Online for sure.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shows that would be in between Erase and Sword Art Online season 1 for me. There is a lot, but I think that fits pretty well.
Okay, that's fair enough then. Now this one I'm a little biased 'cause I read the books, so I think
Uh
it
huh.
at least
Same.
deserves to be on the top of B tier. Like I thought it was really good.
Ooh, but should we judge it by the books or just by this anime?
Just by the anime, that's why I was gonna say it doesn't deserve to be any
Okay.
higher. Because it did have some pacing problems.
Yeah.
Because I read the books, I wanted them to even go any slower, but I can see as a show, it was kind of they had to speed it up.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it also like it doesn't come to any like highlights throughout the
Uh huh.
series. There's not really like oh wow that something really awesome happened. It's kind of all just evenly entertaining.
Yeah. I think the best its strong suit is how real the world felt and how it affected the characters. Very realistically, trauma, grief, um, fear, all of it represented super well in this show. Um, and just, I mean, within the first like 2 episodes, maybe even on the first episode, they almost die just killing like a goblin. Like what is considered one of like the weakest monsters. Um, and they had a hard time with it, but it was very real. It was very, it felt pretty grounded. Now, fan service a little bit does kind of take it down as well. That's why I wouldn't put it in A tier. Just pretty poor. It's done not in great taste, but other than that,
Yeah,
it's a pretty solid show.
I'd say these two are definitely like comparable in that they like the whole point was bring on realism,
Uh-huh.
and like you'd be scared, you'd be freaking out, and that's what they're doing constantly throughout the show. So I think the realism is really entertaining and like keeps me super captivated, but I know it's not that movie business entertainment action explosions and none of that, so it's really hard. It's like a niche group that likes these kind of shows.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now for
All
me,
right. Now this
this
is
is
gonna be
the
split. No, 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 no,
this
no.
is the worst
No, 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 no,
show
no, no,
I've
no, 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 no,
ever
no.
seen.
No, 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 no.
It's
It does
literally
not
so
deserve to be in
trash.
trash tier. No,
It's
no, no, no.
so bad.
This show is good, man. It is good. Okay, so I don't know what it is that made you hate this show so much, but um,
Probably it
it
being
probably has something to do.
trash.
It probably has something to do with you watching it in dub. I'm almost convinced of that because man, I mean the main character is supposed to be pretty hateable in the
Oh,
beginning and then in one particular episode, but not in the entire show. If you hated him that much, there is something wrong with the actor who portrayed this character. I
so
am convinced of that because this is not a bad
this
show.
show
It isn't
sucks.
great. I would put this in B tier.
You cannot. You have to put it in the back of B if you
No,
put
no,
it in
no.
B. It's so
Sure,
bad.
yeah. Put it in the back. Put it in the back of
It's
B.
if
I would put it above that, but yeah, if you want to put it there,
if
I totally
you
agree.
I have fair warning, if you watch it in dub, don't watch this show. Period. It's so bad. It's absolute
Yeah,
trash.
I mean, I haven't seen the dub. I can't say what it's like, but okay, is there a character in the show that you actually did like?
The blue hair girl is pretty cool.
Rem?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I could tell you the name of like all the major cast. It's Subaru, Rem, Amelia.
Millie was alright, but
These.
she wasn't very fleshed out and
Oh yeah, she wasn't a great character. But I would say in later seasons she really does kind of grow as a person and actually become an individual and not just some waifu that Subaru has to attain and as a main goal. That's how she is like in the whole first season, but she actually kind of like
well,
gets
and the
really fleshed
second
out. Her
season
story gets
too.
fleshed out.
In the second season, she's just like complains the whole time, like a bratty princess.
I mean, later on it explores her entire like childhood and what how she grew up and what she kind of went through, and that was a lot more than anything we got in season 1. She was a complete mystery,
Yeah, that's true.
and just a goal, but she actually became a character. Yeah, she's not like a great character, like amazing character, still on the weaker side of characters go, but she at least develops
Okay,
in
if
a
I wasn't
positive way, I'd
here
say.
and you were placing this show, where would you place it?
Hmm. I would place it top of A tier. I mean, no, no, no. Top of B tier.
Top
Top
of
of
B
B
tier?
tier.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
above
we'll
Grimgar.
compromise and go the back of B tier.
All right. That's fine. I'm fine with that. It's better than trash.
I
That's
would
for
put in
sure.
trash. It was my least favorite show of all these on the list.
Wow. Crazy.
Okay,
All right.
I haven't seen
All
this
right.
one.
Have you seen
I
Drifters?
haven't seen any of these four actually, so you can just run through
Drifters
these.
was okay. Um, excuse my language. You bleep. This show was badass. Just it was badassery in a anime. It takes all these historical characters who are known for strength, brutality, and just stratagem, like historic heroes like Nobunaga, and
Never
puts
got
them in a fantasy world where they have to fight uh, monsters, goblins, and fantasy creatures and such. And it was pretty entertaining, but overall,
I
it
wanna watch
was
this.
the um, the actual progression of the story as it started to actually go on was pretty mediocre. So I would actually put it at the top of C tier. Um,
B?
C, as in cat.
Wow.
Yeah, there you
Okay, you
go.
had me hyped.
Yeah, top of C tier. I mean, it it's not as memorable as Sword Art Online, um, but the action is consistently good. Hey, whoa, why is there you go? Doesn't deserve to be in trash. Okay, but yeah, Drifters.
I probably like it.
It is pretty dark. It's really dark. It's pretty
Would you
gory. Um,
would you say
there's
it's
rape.
like
So
along the line of like the Fate series where it's just like not much of a story but like the fighting's awesome?
yes, except for I would probably say Fate is does it better. I haven't seen a lot of Fate, but the fighting is way. I mean, Fate's known for their amazing fight scenes, and this is not
Hmm.
as well known. But
It
it's
kind of
more like
sounds
a
like the Fate
the.
series.
It's more like they're very smart about how they fight. They're very human in this show. There's no
Oh,
overpowered
okay.
magic or anything. It's just straight skill and combat experience that gives the main characters extreme advantage over everyone else because they are historically um, the greats of Japan, basically, who conquered many nations or played huge parts in war battles and such. So of course they're going to be strong and powerful individuals. So they have their reason to be strong. Um, but yeah, it some of the scenes aren't very tasteful. There's definitely rape in it, but it's not as at the same level of Sword Art Online where it's done and then
So
it's
trash.
okay.
It
In
adds nothing to
Drifters,
the story.
it shows the rape and it's like, oh, this is bad, and not ooh rape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
see what you mean.
it's definitely shown as it should be as very dark and twisted and messed up. But yeah, just FYI going into that show, it can be pretty brutal. But it's brutal. That's what makes it fun.
Okay. All right. I haven't seen either
We
of
should
these.
do one that you've seen.
Okay. I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. I thought it was super
Wow.
entertaining. It was just a complete spit off of Sword Art Online. Way better characters. Super entertaining. I was captivated the whole thing. I watched it with my niece.
Wow.
She was captivated the whole time. We just grinded out the whole show. I thought the pacing was great. It left you satisfied at the end. Like it was really good.
I am honestly upset with myself that I have seen every single Sword Art Online season except for this one that everyone says is good, and I just need to watch it. Just get down,
Oh, you
pull it
haven't
up,
seen this?
watch it. I haven't seen it. It's the only one I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
seen.
So it takes place at the beginning of a BR that happens inside the world.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
Isn't it Bullet something? online, whatever.
Yeah, it's in Gun Gale Online.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a BR, and so there's a bunch of teams that form, and it's just the whole show is that one BR match going out and playing out. So
Hmm.
honestly, pretty mad entertaining, super good
Yeah,
paced.
it takes the good premise of that tournament, right, that they're in, except for totally different characters and no crazy murder plot.
Yeah, literally just playing the video game at this point.
Yeah, all the good parts of Gun Gale Online are put into that series. That's what I've heard.
Hmm.
So I heard it's really good, and I honestly need to give it a watch.
Yeah, like it's super like good to sit down and watch the whole thing, or like watch it with people you know. Like it's a really good entry anime, I think. Kind of like
Okay,
a
okay.
race.
Really safe option too.
Yeah. There's a little bit like
Nice.
it's like suicide talk. I guess that's like the uh most triggering thing that happens into it is one
Uh
of the
huh.
girls is pretty suicidal, but that's about it.
I mean,
But pretty
probably
common
important
among
in the plot
gamers.
though, right?
Pretty
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, yeah. No, I totally agree there.
Okay, you go for one of yours.
All right, all right. We'll do Sonya. Wait, no, it's
If you just want to do
the
all three
saga
of these
of.
really fast,
Sure,
you
sure,
can.
sure. Saga Tanya the Evil. Trash. It is not a good show. Uh, I
That's what I heard.
I watched the whole thing. I wanted to like it. I just couldn't like it. It was just ridiculous. Um, that's it. Uh, Isekai Restaurant. That one is really comfy, really
It's
chill
gross. I hate
watch.
comfy shows.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not your cup of tea. I would not recommend it to you. But if you like the comfy shows, yeah, C tier, bottom, where that's where it goes.
So yeah, this is
Overlord.
if you want to get into Isekai, but you mostly watch slice of life, watch this.
Yes, good mix. Have you seen Overlord?
No.
Trash. That's a. This is probably a hot take. Honestly,
David
I would put it at
loves
the
this
top of
show.
trash though. I put it at the top of trash. It. I just don't like Overlord. It. I mean, it has some top tier waifus, honestly, like Albedo, the succubus. Yeah, she's
Don't
fine for
don't know
sure,
them.
but it's just kind of boring. It's the classic overpowered main character dynamic, and that's just I never am a fan of the overpowered main character. I mean, it can be done. I mean, look at One Punch Man; it's amazing,
Yeah, it's comedy,
but
so it's totally different.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And this tried to take it so seriously, and it just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
All right.
I like that. I'm gonna watch that show then. Yeah, David kept trying to get me to watch it. He said it was really good, but I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now this
I mean, I haven't
is
seen later
the
seasons.
most mid of all mid. Like whatever the middle is, it needs to go there because it is the most like
Probably right there. Okay, okay. So,
it is
what did you
just
not like about it?
it was like take every trope or like every like thing that happens in every other isekai and then just put it into one. Like nothing original. Like I feel like it was completely mid and like every there was no importance on anything, right? Like everything always works out like amazingly and his life is like fantastic and there's no hardships. It was just kind of like super
I mean, I want to disagree, but I can't.
yeah.
I liked it. I know it's it does the whole trope thing and stuff, but the way it did it is was to me entertaining. Apparently though, season 2, which I haven't seen, is completely different.
I've seen
It
season 2.
ups the stakes. You've seen season 2.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm like
Mm.
over 50 episodes in. I didn't finish it because it was I thought it was season 2 would get better, but it didn't.
Hmm. Am I thinking of a season 3?
He he's a teacher and lives in the capital, but also goes back and forth between his village. He's learning to be a god like she is. You seen that season?
Yes. I thought that was the end of season 1 though.
No, it's season 2.
Hmm. The season 2, I know I mean, that came out recently. It came out last year, I think.
That's when I was watching it last year, and I was like on episode 56 or something when I stopped watching.
Okay, I'll have to watch it and give my own opinion. But I heard season 2 is better, and I probably will
I
continue
would
just to
agree
eventually
with
get to it.
season two being better, but it's still I'd rather rewatch freaking Sword Art Online than watch this. Like,
Whoa. Yeah, I'd probably
okay,
put it at least above Sorta Online personally, but you can leave it there. All right. Have you seen Alicization?
yeah, way better than Sword Art Online, in my opinion. But I don't know if it's better than Erased.
Okay. Here's my problem with the show. The beginning was incredible. Wow, it's like we're talking about season 1 again. Incredible beginning, incredible start. The world was so good. I remember reading the books. I
Wait,
read the light
hold up,
novel.
hold up. I thought the beginning was the worst part.
What?
Like, what?
You're telling, okay, wait, no, listen. You're telling me the scene where his sister gets tentacle raped is better than the beginning.
He has a sister?
Okay, never mind. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, Alicization? He doesn't
Why do you
have
say it like,
he doesn't have a
wait, why
sister.
do you, okay,
Alicization,
no,
like Alice.
Kirito.
His little sister
Yes.
is not in this show.
How much of Alicization have you seen?
I've seen the whole season. There's Alicization and then there's Alicization like War.
War of Underworld.
Yeah, I haven't seen World of Underworld. I just seen the first
Oh,
one and it
that's what I
was
was talking about. No, yeah, his younger sister. I mean, all the characters come back, and no, it. I thought the in okay, never mind. The ending of season 1 of I mean the of this Alicization, it was not good. It just wasn't good. It was supposed to be really cool ending fight, being the boss kind of thing, but it wasn't that good. Okay, but to be fair, reading the light novel made the beginning extremely, extremely good. But all the parts in the light novel that made the beginning incredibly good were skipped over in the anime. I'm probably just my brain is probably just on the light novel because it was so written super well and the world building, the detail was incredible. I really like the world of Alicization. But it gets really boring in the anime when they go to the academy, and the entire show was honestly just a disappointment compared to what I had read. And as far as I got, I never finished the whole light novel for Alicization, but it has multiple books, and I just couldn't get to them. But it was a disappointing show for sure.
I thought it was just better than the everything was better. The stakes were higher and more uh it was just better than this show. So
Yeah,
that's why I thought it belongs right here.
I mean, compared to season 1, it's a lot better. But War of Underworld, you probably don't need to watch that because it does the exact same thing. The beginning was super good. I was so hyped after one particular episode, like right before the war, before they have a huge battle,
Oh, is that
and
where they
that is where
blast
it
them with
peaked.
like a thing of fire?
No,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
yeah,
So
it's completely different. There's like a wall. It's coming down. There, it's like the
it turns into
underworld
like Game of
is
Thrones. Oh, you haven't
fighting.
seen Game of
Yeah,
Thrones.
fighting the other side of the world, the dark world. It's incredible, and then it peaks there, and then the actual war happens, and it's a disappointment. So take that with a grain of salt, honestly. I mean, if you like it,
Would you
you
put it
like it.
below this then?
But with how much it just disappointed me, yeah, yeah,
All
I'd
right,
put it
that's
below.
fair. Would you put it below this one?
I would put it on the very bottom
No,
of B.
this block's on the bottom. No
Dang
questions.
it! I was just trying to get ReZero up higher, honestly. Okay, yeah, that's my take on that show,
Okay,
though.
that's fair. All right, so I don't like how uneven it is. This is our full list, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this, which doesn't really change anything, but
Whoa.
it just looks better. Okay.
Okay, okay,
So
fair.
this is our official list.
The official list.
The official list. Our opinions are factual.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well,
Couple hot takes, but overall, it's a pretty solid list.
yeah, I'd say the hot takes are Konosuba being at the back because this is probably the most beloved.
Uh
Uh,
huh.
Seven Seeds being this high because of how low production was. Probably took them $20 to make this show.
And how no one has ever watched it.
Yeah. I think this is a hot take too because it was a spin-off of a show and not many people have seen this one either.
Hmm.
Um, uh, this was pretty loved, but we said it was pretty forgettable, so sorry if you liked it.
Yeah, yeah,
I think those are the only hot. Oh, and this one was pretty popular, so it's probably a hot take too.
yes. And it's just, and this is only my opinion, but yeah,
Okay,
no one else
well,
has watched it here, so
cool. I'm gonna end the recording. Thanks for watching.